Hey guys, it's Chala from Crafting Through the Chaos of Life. Thanks so much for joining me for another video. I am so excited for today's craft project. It was a lot of fun to make, and I'm showing you what we are going to be doing today. This is just a 5.5 by 4.25 piece of cardstock. You can use anything that you have. You can use like jumbo playing cards. Basically, we're making a journal card. And yeah, so let's kind of get started with how we're going to do this. I'm just going to back up my camera a little bit because I did want to zoom in on this to show you guys kind of where we're headed. This is kind of what we're going to do. So I'm going to back out a bit. So bear with me. There we go. Hopefully that'll give you a better idea of my area. So I'm going to set this aside and let's get started on creating this. So again, this is a 5.5 by 4.25 piece of note card or cardstock, and what we're going to start doing is just pulling out some scrap papers. So I have a whole bunch of different kind of scraps here. Some's old book page, I've got music paper, literally just bits of scraps from leftovers. I have pieces of leftover map, some textured types of cardstock here, and then this is just some Tim Holtz stuff that I have. So let's get started. The main thing we want to kind of keep in mind here is we want the straight edges. Okay, we want to use straight edges. So grab your straight edged ruler, and we are going to, let's see, let's use this here. Get it turned around so I can rip it. And it doesn't matter how you glue these down. You can glue them sideways, upside down. We just want straight edges because that will come into play later. As you see here, these are actually the straight edges of the little cardstock pieces that we're using, and that will help us give dimension and depth and interest to our project. Okay, so you can glue this down by either Mod Podging it on your piece of paper. I'm just going to start by using the good old Oohoo glue stick, and you can have the pieces hanging off the edge. We can trim those up later. I'm looking at this and I think I like the words on this side better. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue this onto my piece of cardstock. So I hope everyone's doing well and that you find yourself in your craft room today. We've had some beautiful weather here. I'm getting closer to the end of school, which is my kids are very excited about. So as you can see, what I want is the straight edges to overlap to create some different line effects going on. There we go. And we'll just stick this one on here. Again, creating right angles. We want some right angles going on. And let's see. And you want some darker pieces as well. I think I might bring in a piece of this. There we go. And all different sizes. Let's put that one maybe down there. So again, when you're collaging, don't overthink it. Just get it down. The main thing on this project though is those right angles. So put that there. This one, I want a bit of a straighter edge, so I'm just going to use my ruler and create a bit of a straighter edge here. Well, that didn't work, so we'll use the good old scissors. So yeah, what have you guys been up to lately? I know it's been another hot minute since I've been on. I'm definitely feeling better though, so that's good. Hopefully I can get in and do a bit more. Actually, I think I want to put this here. And then let's put that one there. What's on this side? I like this side better. And let's glue that down. Again, I don't want to get caught up overthinking it, because I can definitely do that. Oops. Don't think I got enough glue on that corner. Or do I want this here? Yeah, I think I want this here. That's the best part, is you can change your mind as you go along. And I do want to use some of this. It's like a woven paper. Now it doesn't rip, so I do have to use the scissors, but I thought this would add some really nice texture to the project. Okay. Actually, I think I'm going to use art glitter glue for this one because it's a heavier cardstock. I don't want it to lift, so I'll just art glitter glue this bad boy down. As you can see, I'm all willy-nilly with my glue. Not really a science to it, actually. Oops, now I'm throwing things around. Okay, let's put this one here. Yeah, I think that's going to be fun. This one also has some texture in it. What if I put that there? That would be fun. Again, just creating some fun angles. And I think I can get away with glue stick with this one. Okay. That. Maybe we'll have it like this. We'll create just another little bit of an angle right here. And you can do as many or as little or as few angles as you want. I'm kind of going a little bit silly here and creating quite a few, but that's okay. Yeah, we'll do that one there. Cut off more than I needed, but that's okay. We can always create some more fun scraps to use. Yeah, this is definitely a good way to get rid of some of your scraps. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over, and I'm just going to trim up the edges so that we're back down to the 5.5 by 4.25 sized piece. Okay, there we go. We got some more fun scraps. Just put that in my little tub. And the next thing I want to do is I'm going to just put a layer of Mod Podge over top of this. And I'm just going to use this matte Mod Podge that I have. I just get this from the dollar store. I like the container that it comes in. I do have my big Mod Podge container here. This one's satin. I kind of like the smaller one. So let me just grab a brush, kind of clean up my area as I go here. Oh, let's put the lid on our glue stick because we don't want that drying out on us. Okay, so let's go ahead and drizzle this on. Now, as you can see, I don't have drop papers down on my glass mat, and that is simply because I had to remind myself that I bought the glass mat because it's easy cleanup and I'm not wasting paper. And ooh, I think I got a piece of hair in there. So yeah, if you have a glass mat, use it. It cleans up really easily, so I'm not going to worry about getting glue all over it. There we go. Just give a nice layer of Mod Podge over that. And so I'm just going to pause the video for a second just because I'm going to use my heat tool to speed up the drying process. You can definitely leave this to dry overnight or for a couple hours. I'm just going to, actually, you know what? No, I'm going to say don't let it dry too much. I think we want to continue the next step with it just a little bit damp. That's what we want to do. So I lied there. Just, I'm going to pause you for a quick sec. I'm going to dry and clean up my, I'll put this aside. I'm going to clean up my mat and I'll be right back. I'm not going to dry this piece completely. I want it to be a bit damp. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, so I took the time just to clean off my glass surface, and I hit this with the heat tool, honestly, for maybe about 5-10 seconds. So as you can still see, it's a little bit damp, which is great. I mean, this looks pretty as it is, but we're going to be covering it up a little bit here. We're going to be using some white gesso. This is just some Artist Loft brand that I have. I'm actually going to be using just a little bit that's on this foil lid here. So I'm going to just grab a brush. Let's see. Let's use this one. And I'm just going to pick up some gesso. And what we want to do is we want to go over the straight edges. Just kind of outlining them. And you can then fan in the excess gesso. Okay, so just really kind of tracing out those straight edges and then just fanning in the gesso. Some edges there. Again, go around the outside as well. Hopefully you can see that. Not giving you the best angle there. But just, and then fan it out. Just remember to fan it out a bit. And you might have like it really close here to the edge where you have two lines. That's okay. That's not a problem. You can have one thick line there. That's not a big deal at all. A little bit of overlap there. It's another kind of, oops. I've got a hair or something going on here. I'm just going to rinse my brush off for half a second and let's try this again. I can always tell when my daughter has been in my craft room. She was making a birthday card the other day for her girlfriend, and because she leaves her long hair everywhere. I don't have long hair, so I know it's not mine. All right. Okay. So we've gone around all the straight edges, and we're just kind of fanning in the excess gesso. And now we're just going to continue. I'm going to hit this with a heat tool just to dry off this layer, because then we're going to go again. So I'm going to pause you for one quick second. Okay, now we're back at it again, putting just another layer of the gesso on those straight edges, those little boxes. So we're creating those little squares. Just building up the gesso in those areas, and that'll be important for later. You'll see why we want to build up this gesso on these straight lines. It just kind of helps seal in, because we're going to be adding more medium on top of this. Hopefully you guys are able to see this okay. I wonder if I should come in a bit. Give you guys a better view of that. If I'm too far zoomed out at times in videos, or you want me to zoom in closer or further out, just let me know. Leave me a comment and I'll try to accommodate that. Just, you never know what's the best angle sometimes. So again, just kind of fanning in that excess gesso on the inside of those little blocks that we're creating. And it's just like a light layer, so we're still seeing some of that paper underneath peek through. There we go. I really like this textured woven paper. I think that's going to look cool. Okay, so can you guys see all those blocks? Just kind of want to go heavier in some of these areas, just again, really to accentuate them. There we go. Okay, so I think we're about good. I'm going to quickly hit this with my heat tool. I'm going to not mute it this time or stop you. Okay, and then we are going to just quickly put this to the side and give our work area a bit of a clean up. You can use baby wipes. I'm just using this cloth and water. Okay, that's good enough. So the next thing we want to do is pull out, you can pull out some gelatos, you can use watercolor, acrylic I think will work as well. I'm going to use some watercolor here. Now on this one, I used a lot of green. I went with a green theme. I think for this one, I'm going to try blue. And what you want to do is kind of have a couple different shades of blue. So you kind of want like a light, medium, and dark. And I'm going to pull out a watercolor brush. And we are simply going to take our lightest blue. So it looks like I really only have 2 blues here, but I could probably work with, let's see here, I could probably work with this that I have left over. I could add some white to it, so I might do that. Just kind of want to start with a lighter blue, so I'm just going to pick up some of this, drop it in there, and then what we're going to do is again go over our straight edges. Now we're building up layers, so it doesn't have to be perfectly covered, and just loosen up your wrist. Loosen up your wrist a lot. We're not like doing like wicked straight lines here. We're just kind of loosely adding some color. Just have fun with it. Embrace your inner Bob Ross and just have a little fun. Again, going over those blocks, those squares or rectangles that we've created. There we go. So you can see that's really light right now. And that's okay, because we're going to come in and then we can just darken it up as we go. We can use our next darkest color. Now I only have 2 blues, so I'm using the first blue that we used, just a little more saturated with color. Just kind of using it straight from the watercolor block, as opposed to watering it down too much. And I just want to come in and soften this. Don't want too harsh of lines. You can kind of spread that in there. And what we're doing is we're building that depth and dimension and interest into our project here. Come back and just kind of soften those lines a wee bit. Oh, what I got going on there? Kind of peeling my paper a wee bit, getting a little heavy-handed with the water. That's okay. All right. That'll just add a little unique interest to it. Not a problem. Okay, I'm going to pause you, dry this, and come in with a darker blue. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've dried this fairly well. There's still a little bit of wetness to it, but that's okay because we're coming in with our darkest blue. And again, just doing the same thing. I like to dry in between my layers, then my paper doesn't get too warped. And again, like what this happened here, I'm not worried about that. That'll just give it texture, but we kind of want to avoid having our project peel up too much, right? So again, just going over. It looks weird right now. I know you're probably like, I don't know, Chala, this is not what I expected, but just hang in there. It gets better. You'll be amazed. You'll be so proud of yourself when you're done. You'll be like, yeah, I made that. I did. I want to really kind of bring in this color down here. Just having some fun. I've got a few projects in mind that I want to get done. They're rolling through my brain. This one in particular, this idea, I had seen who did I see it through? Shinuki Art, I believe, is where I originally saw this idea. I did modify it a little bit to my liking, and that's what you're supposed to do with art. You're supposed to, you know, you take an idea and make it your own, or, you know, work with it. I mean, you can always, you don't have to do it by the book of what you see, what I'm doing here. You can always tweak it for how you like it. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Again, I'm going to pause quickly and dry this up. Okay, so I have put my watercolors away and I have cleaned off my surface. I have dried our journal card up a bit. The next thing I'm going to do is pull in some watercolor pencils that I have. Again, these are just, this is from the dollar store. This is from Michael's. I have a fancy set of expensive watercolors, but you don't need expensive stuff. You don't need fancy stuff. You don't even need the same materials that I'm using. Use what you have. So if you have just regular pencil crayons, that works too. I think maybe I kind of want to bring in a little bit of purple, maybe. That might be fun. Here's the other blue. So again, I'm kind of, these look fairly similar. I'm using three tones of blue, and we're kind of going to do the same thing with these watercolor pencils. Again, you can use just regular pencil crayons as well. But we're going to, before we get started with the watercolor pencils, we're going to bring in our gesso again. And I want you to put your hand in your pocket, if you have pockets. Now you're going to take your hands out, and you have magically found the best tools that God has given us, our fingers. So go ahead and dip your finger into that gesso, and we're going to just kind of add some gesso with our fingers to lighten up some of these areas. Again, this is building that depth to our project. So I'm just literally whitening up some areas, just rubbing it in, and this is going to again define some of those little square, rectangle, box area type thing. Again, no fancy tools needed, just your fingers. And you can go as heavy or as light with the gesso as you want. There's no rules here, just fun, fun, fun. I kind of still want some of this music to show through, so I'm going to kind of lighten up that area and there. Okay, can you see how that's coming along now? Just giving it some lightness to it. Okay. I want to add a little bit more right about here. It's a little bit heavier. Yeah, I am liking that. I kind of like that this one is lighter and it kind of, you know, you can see the depth to it there. Okay, a little quick hit of the heat gun. Or maybe not because my breaker's too hot. Yeah, no, my breaker is too hot. Does not like that. So we will just fan this. There we go. Blow on it. That's the trouble with using the heat gun. Turning it on and off, it gets overheated, right? So that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to simply start again with my lighter color. I'm going to dip it into some water and just go around the boxes again, just trying to bring them, make them stand out a bit more. And again, you can blend in with your fingers the watercolor pencils. Just going around the edges here. Okay. So I work on an angle. I don't know why, guys. Maybe I should have my camera on an angle. Try and work a bit straighter for you. Okay. Hopefully you can see all this. Alright, now I'm going to go to the next darkest color. I think I'm going to use this one. Again, just so I'm kind of scraping off, unfortunately, some of the gesso there because I'm rubbing too hard. But that'll happen, that's okay. Again, just using your finger to blend out the colors. Okay. Yeah, I'm liking this. This is looking good. And just to be wild and crazy, I want to add a little bit of purple. Yeah, that's nice. Just giving it a little bit more shadowing. There. How's that looking? And bringing some of that color down into where the lighter gesso is. Okay, that's looking pretty good. All right, there we go. So we've definitely got some layers going on there. Are we gonna work? No. Okay, so I'm gonna pause you just for a bit. I'm gonna try and get this dried off, and I'll be right back. Okay, so it's not completely dry because I'm impatient and I want to get this project done before I have to leave to go do some errands. But now we need to, this is all about different layers, guys. We need to create lots and lots of layers. So the next layer we want to use is like some browns or some kind of mustard colors. That again just brings some depth into it. So we're starting with the lighter color. I'm going to start with this one here, and it may turn a little bit green with the blue, but that's okay. So I'm just kind of, again, going around the edges. It's always about the edges. Fret not, my friends. I know you're like, I think you're ruining it. No, we're good. Again, just kind of bringing You can tip this if you want. You can let it kind of run about. We definitely want those colors running a little bit and blending into our background. We want the more concentrated bits of color though, again around those blocks that we've created. Hopefully you guys can see this. Now, normally again I would use my heat tool and dry between each layer. Again, make sure your wrist is loose, that you're not too stiff. You want flowing work. Relax those wrists and arms. Have fun with it. Okay. All right. Is my heat tool gonna work? Yay! So what's actually kind of happening too, which is really cool, is the gesso is kind of crackling a bit with the heat in the water. That is also something that would be really fun to use on here, is crackle paste. So yeah, keep all those things in mind. Like, take a look at what sort of mixed media stuff or stuff that you have laying around. If you don't have crackle paste, honestly, drywall mud works really well as well, just to kind of, you know, just create different textures and looks, like different depths on here. So I'm going to quickly dry this again. Okay, it's not completely dry, but again, for time's sake, and just not to overheat my heat gun, I'm going to continue on with the next layer. The next layer I want to use, I think I want to go with this little bit of a darker, I don't know what you call that. There is a name for it. I'm going to call it baby poop brown. So let's go ahead and pull in that baby poop brown. I can't think of the name of this color. If you remember the name of this color, go ahead, pop it down there in the comments, but we're just going to call it baby poop brown. Okay. I'm going to go back and just kind of feather out that color just a little bit. Okay. Almost getting there, guys. Almost getting there. Okay. Looks good. Now another quick dry. I'm actually going to pause you guys for this because I want this next layer to be really quite dry. So bear with me, I'll be right back. Okay, we are now ready for one of the darkest layers of our browns. You can layer as many browns as you want. I think I'm just going to do the 3 here. I don't really like that one. Let's try this one. A little bit more saturated. Yeah, I like this one better. Again, just like really creating that shadow effect around these boxes that we've created. Okay. Yeah, I'm really liking how this is coming out. I like the blue is almost like a patina look to me. I think that looks so cool. I always forget about this little box here. Hopefully he'll stand out. I don't even know if we'll see him once we decorate. So after this layer, you want to dry it again really well, and then it's up to you really on how you want to decorate this. So mine, I've done some stamping in the background. You can definitely, like, I love this text stamp that I have. You can also definitely use stencils. You can stencil over top of this. That would be fun if you've got like a nice, I think a floral or a scrolly type stencil would be pretty cool. What else could you use? Again, like your texture pastes. But when it comes to getting a focal point on there as well, that's really, again, where you have even more creative control. I, again, used a butterfly on here. But you can definitely use, like, pull out our Tim Holtz people or whatever you have. Like, I think, let's see, these ones are pretty big. Let's see if I can find some smaller ones. You know, like a little Tim Holtz person would be super cute on there. You can even, I embellished this one as well with some liquid pearls. You can use liquid pearls, but there is one more thing I want to try on this one that I didn't do on the first one. And let me just go ahead and just add a little bit darker in places here. Just want a bit more shadowing, and then I'll show you what I want to do. I'm really using a lot of water, and that's not what I want to do. I want a little bit more. How's that looking? I think I need more down here. Okay, are you guys seeing where this is going now? Are you trusting the process? A little bit more brown there. It's just a little bit too blue. Go. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Okay, pausing you for one more time. I'm going to dry this up and we'll be right back. Okay, so I've dried this really well, and you guys, I'm in love with this. I think that looks so super great. Isn't that so grungy and great? You could also put like liquid pearls all the way around it, make it look like rivets. I love the texture of this woven paper. Yeah, you can, oh, this is just so much fun. Decorate it any way you see fit. You can put laces or fabrics on here. Some cheesecloth would look nice underneath an element. But the next thing I wanted to do was, I wanted to be crazy. And I'm going to, very carefully, I hope, I need a pencil or something here. I am going to add some black splatter. So here we go. Cross your fingers for me as I hold my breath. Maybe just a few more. Okay, I like that. I really, really like that. It makes me very, very happy. Okay. Pause you for one more time, guys, just so I can get this dried off, and we'll finish it off with decorating it when we come back. Okay, so that's all dried up, and I'm just going to put my watercolors away. I am so happy with how this is turning out, you guys. It makes me so incredibly giddy. I love the colors. I love the lookings of purple and the blue kind of showing through. I think this is awesome. One more thing that I'm going to do that I did with this one is I'm going to edge it in gold. Again, you can use gold splatters on here. I think that would look stunning, but I am going to edge this with my Picket Fence paper glaze. I got this from Scrap and Stamp Canada. So I really like this product. Again, pulling out that magic tool of our finger. And usually I take it from the lid if the lid is still wet. This is dried, so I am just going to go ahead and mush it along the edges. Again, nothing too precise. The messier the better. We don't want it to look too perfect. We want it perfectly imperfect, okay? So just go ahead and get that around the edges. It's fine if it goes to the back. Okay. Yeah, I'm liking the look of that. You can even go around each block if you want. Just kind of quickly trace them. The other card that I did, I just did the edges, but this is pretty cool too. Look at that. Love, love, love. I don't love that those look so much like fingerprints, but there we go. So look at that. Isn't that stunning? Super fun. Love, 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 love. All right, let's see what we can find. Since I have my butterflies handy, let's go ahead and do another butterfly. These I just honestly got from the dollar store, you guys. Check out your local dollar store. They've got some great stuff. This brand is Forever in Time die cuts. You get quite a few. You get 32 pieces in here. And I, of course, bought them in every color I could. So, okay, so let's go ahead and play around and see what might look good. Oh, okay, so there's that. It's pretty big, though. Oh, hopefully you can't hear my stomach growl, sorry. Then we have this one. That's the same one that we used on the other one. That's pretty. I think I want to go for more of a greeny look though, because on this one I did like the green background and then I had the blue kind of pop up. So maybe this time if we do the bluey background and the green on top, I think that would look pretty. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Like, look at this huge butterfly. Isn't that gorgeous? Makes me so happy. Love, love the dollar stores. Okay, so I'll set these guys aside. I mean, you could even have more than one on there, too, right? But I think I'm just going to go for the one. All right, set this aside, and I want to pull out my, inking tool. Because these are die cut out, you can see the bright white edges on them. Not really in love with that, so I'm just going to bring in my vintage photo. Just kind of tone down that bright white, making it look just a little more cohesive with the background that we had created. Let's get the lid on that. Put that on there. Oh my gosh, I'm so in love with that. Okay, so now I'm going to, we want to do some stamping first. Okay, I'm going to use my Stays On. I can reach it. Oh, it's very smart. That's it. Oh, I'm throwing things around. It's a craft ledge. What are you Stays On? There you are. Yep, gotcha. Whew, sorry about that. Okay. And the reason why I'm using Stays On is I did on this one, I used Memento, but this is water-based. So I had some smudging when I went over top of it with Mod Podge. So this time I'm going to use Stays On. And I'm really, really weird. I love the smell of Stays On. So just, I'm not even using a block. I don't want perfect text. Ooh, sorry, that was a horrible sound. Blah. Made my teeth itch. Okay, and I'm just going to slap it down. We're not going to get too concerned with straight and legible. Oh, there we go. Fantastic. I feel like something right there. Okay, so that is done. And now I want to put a layer. Oh, I'm going to glue this on. I'm going to use my art glitter glue just because I definitely don't want it to come up. And it's cardstock. Go ahead and slather the glue around. Okay. Pop him on. Somewhat centered. How's that looking? Looking okay? Good enough for the girls I know. And so I want to go over, because this is quite shiny compared to our background with that gesso. So I'm going to go over top of this with our friend Mod Podge, and I want to use the matte. But first, let's get the pin in our glitter glue, because we all know what happens if we fail to do that right away. Okay, let's grab a brush and just my cloth. And let's go ahead and drizzle some on. And still kind of, I should have let the stamping dry just a little bit more, hit it with the heat tool, but that's okay. Again, interest, happy little accidents. And that'll just tone down that shine from that die cut butterfly, as well as seal kind of everything together. Right? Okay. Perfect. Now, again, from here you can add some liquid pearls if you like that. You can also round the corners, add some lace, do whatever you like there. I'm just going to keep these quite simple and finish them off like this, let it dry, and we have a beautiful mixed media postcard for our journals. Thank you so much for coming along with me on this journey. I hope that you liked it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for spending your time with me today. Happy crafting. P.S. I love you.